one of the big points you make in the book is that we have to individually and organizationally let go of what you kind of describe as antiquated notions, right? Like the idea of asking people, "What do you do?" And that identity. So just tell me a little bit more about that. It was a very intriguing part of what you kind of put out there.
Yeah, so the paradigm we're coming out of is education, and that's just the first 30 year life, career, which is a well structured escalator, retirement, which was designed back when we were going to die a year or less later. And success in education was, do we codify and transfer the right skills to get you on the ladder? That was the job of education, and it was done. And now it's learn, leverage, and longevity. And in that, learn and leverage and longevity are all overlapping bands. So learn and leverage is a signal that learning, one, is continuous as opposed to education, which implies an end state. Leverage instead of work, because it signals work and learning are a combined act. And longevity, because we're making the greatest loops in human longevity at the same time we've got the greatest velocity of change, which makes for longer, more volatile career arcs. So we have this idea. We ask little kids, what are you going to be when you grow up? Absurd when you think about it. We ask university students to pick a major before they've stepped foot on campus. The only study I've seen on this, which is from the Federal Reserve Bank in New York, found that 27% of people work in the field of their undergraduate major. Yet we're myopically focused on it. We tell you to pick a major and then not take anything outside of it. And if you stop and think about it, that means your future and all the debt you take to get there is based upon what you were told you were good at in high school. I guarantee you I would not be on this Zoom if that was the limits of my future.
Yeah.
We get exposed to things in high school, and there are huge social mobility implications of that. So we're cutting off a tremendous amount of human potential. And then the idea of asking each other what we do, it's just a conversation starter that we've created a habit out of. I don't think we mean to do it as much as we do. But studies out of the UK, and I know, Brandon, you and I talked about it when I saw you in Santa Fe, have found that job loss takes longer to recover from than the loss of a primary relationship. And many people never recover to the same level of well-being because we've created this factory pipeline to a future identity that either is impermanent or may not be there. So instead, we've got to focus on connecting people to what motivates them, what drives them, their purpose, their curiosity. We've got to set up an expectation of lifelong learning and connect them to systems that allow them to do that. So instead, why don't you just ask somebody, tell me about yourself. What are you interested in? There are other ways you can have open-ended questions, but we keep reinforcing an occupational identity that's a few decades old at best.